Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Hey, everybody. We kind of a little slow getting going today, but we here. Happy Thursday, happy Thursday, happy Thursday. How you doing, co-host? Co-host. I don't know if she can see me or not. But welcome in, everybody. I see y'all. She over there putting makeup on. Liz. Anywho, I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We got a full agenda this evening. We got a few things to talk about. I want everybody to drop down in the chat, what type of day are you having today? That is going to be the question for the chat for this evening. What type of day are you having? Let's see if I can get my co-host back. Nope, not yet. So I am having a wonderful day. It's a little bit sunny right now. It's cloudy. There's a breeze going, but as you know, in Florida, it's always kind of, there's a humidity. So it's warm out there, but it is overcast. You there, sis?
There you go.
For some reason. There you are. You there? Can you hear me? You keep freezing up for some reason. But we'll work it out. So let me welcome in some of you all here in the Liz. Okay, she's working on it.
Maybe
welcome in. Yeah, you're there's something wrong with the connection.
I'm on the phone. Maybe I'll see my internet is too slow.
Oh, now it's kind of a little better. It probably just got to cycle through or something. So welcome in, Lashes. Thank you, sis, for stopping in this evening. Tamika Davis, how you doing? I'm glad you stopped in this evening. Hey, my friend, Sipping with Sheer Magic, how are you? I hope you had a wonderful day at work today. And Joshua, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hey, Quasi, how are you? He says, hello. Liz's husband is on this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Sip It with Sheer Magic says she is in her own world. Yeah, Liz is always in her own world. She'll be back once she gets the internet connection situation taken care of. So Kiba says, I'm having a great day today. Yes, I'm having a great day as well. There you are.
Mm-hmm. This is much better.
You had to move somewhere else?
Huh?
You had to move to a different section of the house?
No, I just think the cell phones are much better. I had my computers just must be outdated, I guess.
Oh, well, we're going to work on your computer offline. I know you'd be wanting to be on your computer. Your husband is on.
Oh, hi, Quasi. Oh, you know what? So, I can't ever see. Oh, I have to look at the chat.
There it is. There he is.
Hey.
Yeah. He had sent a message to me earlier and said he was going to be on tonight. So I'm glad that he's on.
Okay. So, I see him.
You see him? Okay. Mm-hmm. Everybody, don't forget, drop down in the chat. What type of day are you having today? So I've only heard from Sheer Magic, and she says, I'm having a great day. And I was telling you guys what kind of day it's been here today. I've had a pretty good day. Not bad at all. Last couple of days, I've been kind of tired or whatever, but today I got up and I was full of energy. So I had a great day today. So this evening, our main topic of discussion this evening is sobriety more than just not drinking? So you guys put your thinking cap on, and that's what our main discussion is going to be about this evening. But first of all, I want to give homage to, we lost one of the great singers, Tina Turner. Mm-hmm. She was always one of my faves.
Yes, yes, yes.
I love me some Tina Turner. So she was
No.
83 though. She lived a wonderful life, I do believe, after
Mhm.
coming into herself. Would you not say, Liz?
I say that. I guess, I know my sister's gone to several of her concerts. And every time you think of her, I know me, I can't speak for anybody else, but it's like I don't want to remember her only for what's love got to do with her, because I know it's so much more. But I know that is like her stamp as far as my generation. It's like that movie is just monumental and speaks volumes, as far as people who have gone through so many tumultuous relationships and had to break the monotony of being in those type of marriages. And it's like, wow, she speaks volumes, and I
What
love it.
a light to
Yes,
shine to show
yes.
is more in life than
Hmm.
from where we came, and that you can come out of
Yes,
some things,
yes.
right?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's a St. Louis thing, because all that was started here in St. Louis.
Yep, absolutely. Welcome in
Hmm.
to My Best Life at 60. Thank you so very much. Your husband said, "Hey, wifey."
Hey, hubby. Right.
And
I
thank
need
you.
to find me some glasses
Okay,
so I
thank
can
you
read.
very much, Living My Best Life at 60, for coming in. And absolutely, rest in peace, Tina Turner.
Hmm.
Earlier in the month, we lost a great football player of the past, Jim
Hmm.
Brown.
I
And
know,
he
right?
wrote some books and stuff. Very strong black man
Hmm.
that provided a lot of wealth of knowledge
He's
to
wrong.
young boys and helping them to grow and become men.
I only
So
know him about his. I don't know him from his books. I know him from his movies.
movies as well,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Football, movies,
Hmm. I
and
take care of him.
I
One of
know.
them, he did a vampire movie. I love vampire
I know
movies.
vampire movie
And
now. You know, I
I
was
remember him from a vampire movie, but other than that, yeah.
yeah. So we lost him as well this month.
Hmm.
Uh, Also, this past Friday, I lost my brother-in-law to cancer, and
Sorry to hear
was
that.
early 60s, and my three nieces
Mhm.
and their father, and so that has weighed very heavy on our family. But prayers go out to my nieces and
Mhm.
uh, my great niece, and it was my sister's ex-husband, although we were
Mhm.
still all family. And my thoughts go out to my sister as well, because they were
Mhm.
together for a very long time, and so
Right.
that was very heavy on us to have lost him.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to bring attention to those three people that I know of, and I know the Jim Brown and the Tina Turner. You all know as well. So the
Mhm.
next thing on the agenda is: do you guys know what today is? What National Day today is? Drop it in
Better.
the comment. It's been all over the news today. Thank you, Echo. Thank you so much. Thank you. Today is National Missing Children's Day, May the 25th. Yes. And I was not aware of that. And I heard it on the news this morning. And so I wanted to make sure that I brought it to the table this live this evening. Don, welcome in, Don people. How are you? Glad to see you. Thank you
Welcome.
for coming in. She said wine day. Well, yeah, wine day
One
works.
day.
Wine day works too. Um, but yeah, today is National Missing Children's Day. And so I looked up some statistics and some information about it because I was not aware that there was.
Mm-hmm.
But let me see. What did they say? Do you know that about 2,300 children a day in the
Wow.
United States go missing?
Wow. No,
A
didn't
half
know
a
that.
million in the world a year
Wow.
go missing.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I am sorry. No, don't worry. No worries. No worries. You didn't. No worries, Don. You're perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a
Don
lot.
says Thursday to everyone. Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, I wanted to bring awareness to that. So, when we're out and about and at the parks with our kids or our grandkids or our nieces, our
Mm-hmm.
nephews, just keep your head on a swivel.
Mm-hmm.
Your head on a swivel because we just never know what is going on around us. This is something that the Justice Department brought about
Mm-hmm.
this National Day
Right.
to commemorate those that are out there on a daily basis working to find these children that are missing. And
Okay.
a lot of them, it happens from another parent, taking the child,
Right.
and many not. But the numbers are extraordinarily high.
Wow.
So I just wanted to make sure to bring that to the table and make sure that you guys all stay aware and pay attention to what's going on when your kids are out at the park or they go walk to the corner store,
Mm-hmm.
that we continue to pay attention to where our kids are. One
Right.
child is one too many. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was really, when I looked up some information about it, I don't know, I was stunned. I was
Right.
totally amazed. Things are not the way that I remember when we were kids, we used to walk to it wasn't even the corner store. It was a few blocks away, up the street, around the corner,
Right.
up the street, a country mile, as they would say.
Yes.
But the way things are today or whatever, we have to stay on our P's and Q's about where our kids are.
Right.
Any
And I
thoughts?
don't know if it's too much different, really, Carla, because we just didn't have social media. We just didn't have cell phones. We did not have the type of communication as, you know, they did last. We were too trusting, we were too gullible. We trusted the neighbors to discipline our children. We trusted them to watch our children. We just, we grew up around the same people that we shop with, we went to church with, we work with, and we just with blind faith.
But the pace was a lot slower, and you
Yeah.
could kind of trust it. I mean, you could trust
Stop.
a little bit more than we can of today.
Well, like I said, we thought we could. You thought you could. It was. I just don't want to, misconstrue, because I know a lot of people might be shaking their head like, no, you couldn't, because the enemy was right next to you,
True.
or in the house or under the roof. You just did not
That's true.
know.
That,
You just didn't know. It was not spoke of. I know that you already probably spoke with that in another case, that we didn't talk about it. We didn't say anything. You just didn't know. So I think it's more now we let it be known. We
yes,
speak about it,
yes,
and see something, say something commercials, and the this right here, that we have days for everything.
that's
um
true.
and we're getting the word out, and so now it's okay to acknowledge that little kids come up missing, and it might be somebody and somebody you're familiar with.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
So true. So thanks for sharing.
Unfortunate. Oh
And
no.
those of you in the chat, please feel free to drop your comments in so we hear from you and your thoughts as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So we got through those two things. So our main topic for tonight is sobriety more than just drinking? Welcome in, badass. How are you? Good to see you. I'm glad you were able to stop in this evening. Thank you so very much.
I live for so chat. It's
Living my
a
best life at 60 says we are more aware of it happening today. Yes, and that's what Liz was saying. And now that she's brought that, you know, I can process that absolutely.
mm-hmm.
You know, information comes out a lot faster now than it did
Right,
in the past.
right, right.
So Badass is speaking to everyone. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
so
I
very much.
had right.
Did I
Um,
miss somebody? I see somebody saying, "Hey Josh." So hey Josh. Oh, Joshua. Joshua's in. Thank you, Joshua.
mhm.
Go ahead, Liz.
No, so it's sobriety more than drinking. Sobriety is just as far as I'm not understanding the question. Is sobriety more than just drinking? Um, Sobriety has something to do with just the meeting of the minds in which whatever your thing is, as far as whatever what your thing is drug. What is your drug? What is your um whatever it is that you're using to not be your best self, I, my unsober mind, I used, um, being just, I was a user of alcohol. I would always say I was near the wino. And so, um, and with me, it was a slow thing. It was about, just moving from different places, different, and having to deal with so many faces and the unfamiliarities of different environments. So it helped me cope. It helped me gain different coping skills with the people that I was around. So um, when I finally wrapped my mind and wanted to get to the mindset that this is, getting out of control and I'm not, my best self, it was the conversations that were going on behind my back that led me to my sobriety. And that was, within my family. It was like the chatter behind your head. And it's like, my unsober mind was, what's going on, and my sober mind was, something's going on, but you don't really know what it is. And uh, I had to be,
What would you say the foundation is? When I was kind of doing a little research about
mhm,
sobriety, exactly what that means,
mhm,
would you agree that it's sobriety, the word itself, it's about a changing of your life and finding a new way, a new sense of hope? Because we all
mhm,
start, whether it's drinking alcohol or whether it's whatever vice it is,
mhm.
because that word could go across broadly. Would you disagree? I mean, it's
Um,
not just drinking alcohol. It could be drugs. It could be
Yeah,
whatever
it can be
vice
anything. I
that
want to
takes
say
you out of.
going without something that medicates you or take you away from your natural self.
Yes.
Um, so food medicates you, right? It takes away the hunger pains. It might give you a sense of euphoric feel good or a false sense of ease, or oh, I gotta have that chocolate because it makes me feel a certain way, or whatever it is, that need that it soothes, it does it for you. It can do it in shopping, it can do it in sex, it can do anything. I say,
But we
I'm
use
sorry.
it to hide. We use it to hide. It's
Yeah.
it is not the root.
Mm-hmm.
Root
Of the
it is something.
situation.
It's it covers up whatever the root of our situation is.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
we are unhappy. Something
Mm-hmm.
has transpired. We've had some type of trauma in our life that may have led
Mm-hmm.
us to be it, like you said, a shopaholic,
Mm-hmm.
alcoholic, uh,
Mm-hmm.
or use drugs.
Right.
Those are all cover-ups.
Yes, yes, yes. So obesity, I guess, was one that mine started in. Obesity came within the family. So with me getting an RNY, which was a surgery in which was going to cut the weight. All right. So they say, hey, when you go into those things, you're going to go and talk to a therapist, and they're going to say, hey, just you not eating anymore or taking away your appetite doesn't mean that this vice, your addiction for eating, is going to go away. It's going to transfer into something else, be it sex, alcohol, or shopping, or something. It's going to transfer. Something is going to be another vice in your life. So you need to be ahead of this thing. You need to know that something is going to happen, so you might want to be mindful what you want, or be picky about what you want it to be. So with me, I was like, shopping is cool. I wouldn't mind going shopping, or exercising or something like that. And I believe that I did a little bit of all of it. But I think in the end, when you can lose only so much weight, when you can exercise only so much, or you can throw yourself into your work or your family, it comes into a social situation. Okay, I just want to sit back down and relax and, be happy with the fruit of my labor. So that is rewarding yourself. Rewarding yourself. I can't do it with eating anymore. I'm going to take me a drink. I needed the light on. And so with doing that, that was my situation that sustained who I was, that, I wanted to take, that situation knocked the edge off of whatever I felt like I needed to do. And with my sobriety, I felt like enough is enough. That's what made me want to with wanting to go to sobriety, was like, enough was enough. I didn't like who I was. Like I said, the people that I love did not recognize me anymore. So I didn't understand it, of course, in my unsoberness.
Yes.
But I knew that it was conversations that I was like, what the heck, let me pay a little bit more attention. So when I got there to the point that I was like, all right, I think I'm going to go ahead and do this for me, because it had to be about me. It couldn't be about them. They tried, you have your intervention, they tried the intervention, even though I didn't know really what that was. And I didn't understand how it was going to placate in my life. I had to intervene myself by saying, I have to try this myself, because I have so much more to live. Plus, I was scared for myself. I knew I had a surgery coming up. I needed a hip replacement. Plus, I love me some me. And I was like, I didn't go and lose all this weight and try to reform my life in order for me to be sitting somewhere, an invalid. And my biggest fear of everything in my life is being a cripple or having someone else take care of me. So I didn't want that. So it was basically, my sobriety was scaring me to death. I had to scare myself straight to say, hey, what if you end up in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, or somebody's feeding you? And I'm like, I got to do it. So
and one sobriety,
mm-hmm.
once you go in, a person hits sobriety, or that is what their goal is, it's to better their mental health.
Mm-hmm.
That's the benefit of sobriety, to psychologically get yourself back to basically where you were at birth. When we first come here, we have a cleansed mind.
Right.
As we develop and we grow, all of the negative things come with in life.
Skills to cope.
Yes. And so, but Living My Best Life made a good comment here.
Yes.
You must develop coping skills to help cope with the reason you are self-medicating. And all of these things that you said, those in the chat, those things are easy to say. When you are in the moment of having a vice that you're using to cover up the root of whatever a person's problem is, it's hard to see it.
Right.
Is there anything what would you, let's see, how do I ask this? If the shoe was on the other foot and on the other foot, and it was a reverse, that you had a family member and you wanted to support and help them because they were in the situation that you sing and that your family members came to you, what would you do different than what was done to you to help them to see?
I would do you. I probably would have had to put on my Carla, my Yaya hat. You are a facilitator at best. So, the why. So why are you doing this? And I do believe my siblings kind of did that. But I think they did it in states in which I was unsober. Well, why are you doing this? Why are you acting out like this? Why, are you not um being the person that we know you can be? I can put names and labels. Yeah, I had a horrible divorce. Yes, I got fired from the best job I've ever experienced. And I moved from, the place that, I love my friends and had a new beginning. I just, it was the end. I just had a baby. I had to leave it. I could come up with a mountain of excuses. But I think when it all narrowed down, it was like, so what? And now you got a new, fresh beginning. All of those excuses to why you may have started or why may have went through it are now over. Now you got a brand new new beginning. You have a brand new house. You got a brand new everything, and you're still doing it. So I believe with people, depending on what stage they're in, you got to kind of meet them where you're at. Okay, now those things happen. Now, how are we going to avoid not doing it again? Or when will you see that that isn't serving you any, good? When will you start, making the effort to sustaining what it is that you have now to start building on better?
How Liz, how, regardless of whether it's alcohol or
Mhm,
a person has whatever a vice a person has, we're just speaking because you're sharing your own personal experience.
mhm,
But so for some in the chat, it could be other things as well.
mhm.
How deep do you have to dig to get to where you say, um, something's not right here? I need to make a change. How does that
Oh,
come about?
I think it goes all the way to infancy with me. It was rebellion. I want to say from the cradle, I think I shared this with my youngest son the other day. You the baby, you the baby, you the baby. um, Always having that stigmatism that I would be taken care of. You're going to be taken care of, you the baby, I'm like, okay, now you're a 49-year-old baby, my sobriety was before then, but how long will you hold on to these excuses and all these, magical unicorns and all these umbrellas of family or someone else getting you out of situations? Not even that I even used them or I even needed that to soothe my ego, because I've always been very self-motivated and self-sufficient. But why even, think that that was something that you needed to gravitate to continue to do the same silly stuff over and over and over again? I think for me, I needed to just grow up and stop rebelling, because I wasn't rebelling against anybody but myself.
Let me
It was.
welcome, let me buddy in for a second. We have a
Mhm.
few new people here. Welcome in, Miss Kate. I see you. Thank you for stopping in this evening. I appreciate you stopping in. Charming Tracy, Robin, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I appreciate you taking your time to stop in and visit. And the everyday life of an OC dish, OC dish chick. Nikki, hey, thank you. Thank you for taking your time as well to stop in and say hey to us. I appreciate it.
I'm thirsty.
Um, The question for this live is drop down in the chat how your day has been today, each and every one of you. So let us know how your day has been. And our topic this evening is sobriety more than just not drinking? And
Mm-hmm.
Liz is sharing her own, giving us some of her own personal experience. And this is an open discussion,
Mm-hmm.
just talking about alcohol is just not the only um, we tie sobriety, we think of alcohol when we say the word sobriety, but it
Mm-hmm.
comes in many other forms as well,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I mean, um, being sober is just not being an alcoholic. And as I think earlier on when we were speaking about this subject, when I was younger, I didn't even think about, alcohol as being a bad thing because it was just not even it wasn't a thing that I thought that was something that I would ever be addicted to, or I even felt like I was an addict. It was my mother, she wasn't anybody who drank. I didn't know my father until later on in my life, and my mother told me he drank, but I wasn't around him. I thought it was something that, I had to be around this person in order to have that issue. um, and when we have gatherings and alcohol was there, maybe a cooler or something like that, it was, the adults or somebody there, they'll give you something and you'd be like, oh, this is not a bad thing. And it wasn't something like I was shamed about until I got, a little bit older. And then it's like, oh, you don't need to be drinking. I was like, it was not a big thing. So that's why it was never something that I felt like it was ever an issue. Even today, if I sat there knowing my journey and drinking some in front of friends or anything, they'd be like, oh, that's not a big deal. I'm like, I was sitting in my car with my leg out half the night and couldn't go anywhere and sleep. But you're okay with me driving home by myself. You're okay with me. I just passed out. That's not drunk to you. That's not me having a problem. You know, People still don't get that. Yeah, that's a problem. They only identify it with the wino on the street or
Mhm.
someone who has lost all of their, house or their cars, or they just don't get it.
There are
So
functioning alcoholics in the world
exactly.
as well. They go to work every day. And
Hmm.
one thing I learned early on about it is you could go to work, take care of all your family needs or whatever. And
Right.
uh, if you cannot say, I'm not drinking, then you might want to think about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't just say, I'm not going to have a drink tonight, you might want to think about why do you have to have one? You know what I'm saying? So
It's not even I can say because it's so audio, as if you're breathing, that you'll have it stored on your little drawer next to you. I have little bottles everywhere. You have it in your bathroom under your cabinet, girl. You'll have it in your toilet stool behind, in the little toilet stool bowl behind it. You'll have it everywhere under your car seat. You'll have it so easily and conveniently located on the path of me walking in the car garage at work and into my building. It would be little streams of little bitty bottles of alcohol. People would know it was me. They'd be like, I know it's you. The janitor would be like, would you please stop dropping it on the floor? At least pick it up and put it in the trash can. It was just that bad, you know. And it's like, I would laugh it off. It would be like, oh my gosh, it's not a big deal. I mean, it could be anybody. But Liz, we know it's you, It's like, so why don't you just pick it up? Um, and it's one of those situations to where it gets, it's like it's not a competition of who does it worse or who hides it better. It's just the fact that it's, you try to convince yourself that you can handle it or that you can hide it. But it's kind of like, if you ever watch Ray, it's like, Ray, your slip is showing, I see you, you can't hide it anymore. You've gotten that bad. And I think once I decided enough is enough, then that's when I was like, wow, I sat back and I just listened. I gave myself a chance to allow everybody, and that was my intervention, everybody to tell me my stories about myself that I wasn't aware of. And I was just in awe because I have no recollection. Even to this day, I haven't really gravitated to getting or recovering my entire full memory of all the things that I have endured since I had, been an alcoholic. And I'm like, I can't believe I did that. It's like watching a story or listening to somebody talk about a perfect stranger. And I was like, I cannot believe I don't even remember. And a lot of it was shame, a lot of shame. But I had to forgive and continue to forgive and just know that I can't keep doing,
So how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you
you
forgive?
know, First, it was about me trying to do it by myself and just through prayer. But I believe that when my next door neighbor, she's over a AA group. So I think I told her a bit about my story. And she was like, you should come. You should come to mommy. Just come. You don't have to stay. You don't have to be a part of it. And so she made it very open door. And I started coming and just listening to him. She gave me a book, a big book. And I started reading it. It was some old 1800 stuff. And I was like, who even knows what this is? Like, what's a whooping party? I don't even know what this, I couldn't even identify like some of the stories and what they were. But we would take turns, whether we were online reading out loud once a week. And we would come together and we would read as a group. And I understood the concept after we would finish reading, we would, start delivering, hey, this is how I identified myself within this story of this reader who was telling about his alcohol, incident. And it was like, wow, I get it now. Kind of a light went off, like, it didn't matter. It was like I'd have a better chance of trying to cross a street in the middle of traffic and getting hit than getting, understanding that I cannot drink alcohol again, ever in life. Like that's how much of a chance I will stay sober. Like that, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I cannot drink alcohol because I'm an alcoholic, And I was like, wow, I never thought of it like that. I never thought I can just, hey, every now and then maybe I can do it. Or, maybe if it's on an occasion where, it's a birthday party, because then you try to be calculating, well, maybe I can go for maybe a year or maybe, maybe it's special occasions. It's like, no, never.
That's the same way like about with eating.
Mm-hmm.
People say with eating, and instead of using the word like, okay, I'm gonna go on a diet, I'm gonna lose all this weight, and then I can go back to the way that I used to eat. But I'm gonna be really conscious about how much I'm doing or whatever. No, it's not like that. Just like my friend Lashes, I don't know if she's still here. It must be a lifestyle change.
Yes. Yes.
And the same way with me about not smoking and quitting smoking.
Yeah.
It must be a lifestyle change.
Yes.
It's something that we choose to mentally say we are no longer going to be doing. Those are vices.
Yes. And they call it a live it now. They don't even call it a diet or, this, that. It's the way we're living.
Yes. So, okay. So you've gone through this. You made a conscious decision to want to make a change. And when you were on the cusp, when you said, I'm going to make this change, and you start visiting with your neighbor and going to some of the AA meetings, what type of negative emotions did you have in that stage of it?
The negative, I don't want to say no so much as negative. I just know that I'm a nonconformant, and that's kind of me. I would never go in the military. I'm not a soldier in that capacity in which I will be a conform with blindly follow people and just remember,
This
believe
is the
certain
mission, and
things.
you must do it
I
regardless.
just can't do. I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, my name is Liz, and I am an alcoholic." Every meeting, no, I'm not. I am a recovered alcoholic. I'm not even gonna call myself an alcoholic by this time. I'm just gonna say, "Hey, my name is Liz," because I'm not trying to do that anymore. So I'm not even gonna acknowledge it. I'm not gonna give it any power. So that right there was something that I couldn't conform to as far as that group. Now, as far as being a part of something bigger than myself, I always want to acknowledge that, and that is my faith. But wanting to be a part of something that I felt a little cultish, um, and wanting to continue with it in the name of this is, AA. I was like, I didn't personally, and that just was one group, and and that's just something that I couldn't acknowledge continuing to go. But I would, I'll show up to a party like I did Sunday, to celebrate someone's, what do they call it, AA year or something like that. I'll support, but as far as me just again continuing to do the same type of rhythm of, nah, I just can't do that one. But I will say for those in the beginning stages, I would stress to go, to support, go to Al-Anon meetings, support people who are struggling, and to at least getting the rhythm of being a part of something bigger, and know that there are other people out there struggling, with all types of sickness and diseases and griefs and mental illnesses, um, everybody struggles, period. We had this great pandemic. We have, grief in our families. We have so many things and so many reasons to hit a bottom, and I just know that without the type of faith that my forefathers and my ancestors had given me, that I probably still would be struggling. But I just know that just being a non-conformant, like I can't just keep on doing the same old thing for the rest of my life. I'm gotta switch it up. So I just knew that that was like for me just not even something that is in my character to have done that long. But I just said I had to shake it off.
It helped you do it. It helped when you made
Hmm.
the decision to stop drinking,
Hmm.
and then you all I always say all things
Hmm.
happen for a reason.
Uh,
So you living next to that woman, and she happened
mm,
to AA. That okay,
hmm.
that connection happened on purpose.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
and I
Intentional.
understand you saying that's not something that you have to use
Right.
every day of your life, going in there
Hmm.
and saying it all the time,
Hmm.
such, I'm alcoholic. But it was a stepping stone for you.
Exactly.
Can we say that?
Exactly.
It was a stepping stone
Hmm.
that strengthened you after you had made your decision that you didn't
Yes.
drink anymore.
Yes.
So now
100%.
you've gotten there and you have this strength. So how have you continued? What
I have continued just by not even resorting back to the roles of anything before. Just, I can't even say that there's been a pattern of any kind. I've just let it go. Forgiveness, meditation, therapy. I've probably done an anomaly of things that I just haven't written down or made a pattern or done anything that was structural that anybody would ever, can say that this was the blueprint of anything. I just like had to take a deep breath and say, enough. It's enough. I'm done with that. That chapter is over, dead and gone. I'm not interested anymore. I have fantasized and finagled and thought about, hey, maybe my sister's wedding, maybe I'll, toast and have a drink. I don't even think about, I don't want it. It makes my stomach like, turn. I'm like, I don't even want that sacrifice. I even talked about you when I said, I will come and visit you. Maybe we'll have a drink at the bar. And you was like, nah. I was like, yeah, I don't
and
even
what
want to.
yes, what did I say? No.
No,
We
I was
ain't
like, I don't
drinking.
even want to. I just be thinking about it. I was like, I wonder if I mean, I'll drink every mocktail there is. I am the Shirley Temple, mocktail queen. But aside from that, it's nothing that I desire or I want. I think I've done it to death in the capacity of it's nothing that
That's
there
the
for
same way
me.
I am about smoking.
Mm-hmm,
Every
mm-hmm.
now and then, and I have said to you,
Right,
I can, I don't know, something, like we always say, the devil is busy.
right.
And it just comes up out of the blue, and I'll think about, oh, having a cigarette. Then I'm like, are you crazy?
Right.
You know, and I'll just kind of, I'll laugh that off. But I just think that that is just something that we go through when we have things that we have used for a long time as a vice
Right.
in our life. And I know that I don't belittle anybody else for what they're doing, but sometimes, like when I go to the grocery store, I see people standing outside having a cigarette. You already knew every time we did something, it was like, okay, well, we got to
Right.
stop. I gotta, step outside the car. I gotta smoke
Yeah.
a cigarette. Do you know how much time in your life that you are?
Girl,
I have wasted. I
money.
wasted so much time in my life having to step outside
Step
because I
outside.
wanted to have a cigarette.
Yes.
I wanted to smoke.
Yes. Yes, the rebelliousness of it. And I'm rebelling against myself, my income, the relationships that I could have been, having, conversations I could have, it's just foolishness after foolishness after foolishness. I get it. It's like, okay, now what do I do? I'm not drinking anymore. What do I do with my time? Like, I'm just like, I got a car. I guess I could go and take my kids and actually do something fun with them that they want to do, because guess what, it's not all about Liz. I can take that all that alcoholic money and actually go on trips and whatever it is I want to do. It's a world full of things that I know nothing about. And
Absolutely. You moved me over. You moved to the next phase of what I was going to say.
exactly.
So after you've gone through all of
Hmm.
this, or each individual of us that have gone through
Hmm.
things, and you've identified finally, not you, I'm
Hmm.
not saying specifically you, but
Hmm.
person has identified finally, you know what,
Right.
I needs to stop.
Right.
Be it drinking, smoking, like you said,
Hmm.
sex, overeating, or whatever your vice
Right.
is. Okay, it's time for me to stop. Then
Hmm.
connect whatever you connect with. That's your stepping stone
Exactly.
to to uh, to connect you to keep you going. And whether you
Hmm.
stay with that or you advance from that to your own belief system
Hmm.
to keep you going,
Hmm.
you know. And then once you've kind of plateaued or sort of
Hmm.
settled, then dealing with, after you've gone through all the negative
Hmm.
emotions of being mean and hateful,
Right. Because we do.
dropping everybody at the kneecap because you can't
Right.
smoke or you
Yes.
can't drink or
Yes.
you can't eat meat no more or
Yes.
whatever the deal
Uh-huh.
is. Okay, after you got through all of
Uh-huh.
that or whatever,
It
and then
all
you sort of
plateaus.
you plateau kind of,
It
and
plateaus.
then you look at other people out there doing it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
Uh-huh.
uh, you have your moments of insanity,
Mm-hmm.
of saying, "Oh, let me just," like you said, "Oh, when I come to visit you, yeah, yeah, we gonna
Mm-hmm.
drink." No, we ain't drinking because we've been through it. So it's like, "Oh no, we ain't drinking." And the
Right.
same with me for smoking. "Oh no, we not smoking." So after you get through all of those stages and everything,
Mm-hmm.
I see I talked too much. I said all that. I
Mm-hmm.
had a question for you. Geez, I hate when I do that. I
What do
recap.
I do?
What did I want to ask you?
What do I do after that?
I guess, yeah. It'll probably come to me once you start talking.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, it is. Oh, and we talked about how we could have the money we spent and the time that
Mm-hmm.
we wasted doing
Right.
these things that we did or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to, well, how do we keep going?
I think that's just how do you do? It's kind of like growth, maturity. You know, I'm not necessarily that kid that rode up that bike around the neighborhood, even though it was fun and we stayed out all night till the lights came on, and you know, it was the wind in my hair and it was exciting and it was euphoric, and I was a kid, but I was a kid. I don't want to do it no more. It was fun then. I enjoyed myself, but me actually wanting to do that right now, I could go to the gym and do it, but I'm not necessarily there anymore. That time for me, I feel like I've graduated from. I don't see myself ever wanting to go back. I don't feel it. I don't think about it. I mean, other than putting it in my memoirs, it's not something that I ever want to go and return to. You know, the friendships and kinships that I feel like I had in the in between times that I felt like I was sober enough to remember, you know, I miss our, you know, our get togethers, you know, the parties, you know, maybe going out, fellowship, you know, sisterhoods, the shows, the entertainments. But, you know, the drinking, the, you know, the smoking, the all that other stuff, I didn't need to do that. That could have left that out. I could have just been sober doing it. You
Right.
know, I could have, you know, we went to plenty of shows and had fun. You know, we mixed and mingled, and that could have just been all sober and it would have been okay. Um, a lot of things that we did, I could have rethought it differently and not been a situation to where I would have been approved if I would have just did it sober. Because I already know that I'm a heck, or whatever it is. If I was just, you know, Liz all by myself, I'm not. I've always been that person because of who I came from, whether
Yeah.
it be God or my mama. You
Right.
know,
Right.
I'm a clown with or without it. So,
Right.
um,
That's me.
not that I know. Right,
I think that's how
exactly.
we connected. I mean, I don't, necessarily have to drink. And
Hmm.
um, I'll drink now periodically or whatever, but I don't
Drink
with
to get drunk.
the lifestyle change for
Mhm.
me, my eating habits, it doesn't coincide with drinking.
Right,
I'm saying because liquor is high sugar and that's what I
right.
don't want to have. And so every now and then I may have a drink, but it's not. And you know what? Once you kind of make a change in your life, be it from drinking,
Hmm.
it could be drugs, it could be food, whatever, um, you lose your taste buds.
Hmm.
They're just not there. A lot of things we do
Right.
because of habit. I would long before I quit smoking,
Hmm.
I wanted to quit smoking, but it
Hmm.
had become such a habit of
Mm.
having a cigarette. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Just
right.
doing it. And that's why
Right.
finally I went to the doctor because I had quit a couple times before for
Hmm.
the time. But I was like, you know what? I can't do it because my mind, I can't break the habit. I then believed in
Hmm.
knowing that I had a habit,
Right, right.
you know. And so it's like you're gonna have to give me something that one of the whatever that well she what she gave me was some 10-day, I don't know, 20-day
Hmm.
deal or whatever. And it broke
Worked.
the habit.
Yes, it worked. It
I would
worked.
keep
It
forgetting
worked.
to tell people whenever
Hmm.
I talk to them about me stopping smoking, this pill that she gave me,
Hmm.
it was something that they use on vets, but it was for something else, but they realized it helped them to stop smoking. So I
Yeah.
can't even remember the name of the pill or whatever. She said,
Hmm.
but what it does is it can kind of make you laugh,
Oh,
like
really?
uncontrollably laugh. Girl,
Uh-huh.
when
You
I
was
took
laughing, girl.
when I took that pill, I would start laughing. Tim was not down with that at all.
Oh,
And I would just, we could be doing something or whatever.
that's
We
funny.
whatever, and be just, he'd be driving or whatever, and I'd just be over there in the passenger seat, just rolling, just ride, and all of a sudden, it does something
Hmm.
to your emotions, and it would make me start laughing, and I mean that
Wow.
kind of shaking your shoulders, uncontrollable laughter.
Really? You never told me that one.
And he finally, after a few days, he was like, "You got one more time."
Wow.
He said, you got one more time to do that. He said, and I'm throwing them pills down the toilet, and I was like,
What did it
I'm
scare?
laughing, going, no, 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 because I wasn't smoking.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the first week you could take one pill and you could
Mm-hmm.
continue to smoke, but after the seventh day, you no longer could smoke. You could only just take.
Wow.
Girl, I was cracking up, laughing, having a good time with
That
my
would have
own
been
stuff.
funny.
Okay? He was like, no, you look crazy sitting over there.
You left that part out. I remember you telling
I
me
didn't
that
tell
you
you
be
about
over
that.
there
Oh,
laughing.
girl, that was the funniest thing when I put back on it. And we would just be riding, or we could just be sitting at home talking or whatever, and all of a sudden I would
Mhm.
just bust out laughing.
That
And
is
it would be
hilarious.
laughing where it was like somebody told the most funniest joke I'd ever heard in my
Right.
entire life or whatever. And he said, you got one more time.
Exactly.
One more time to break out laughing like that. He said, and he meant that too.
Okay. I
People
bet
be
he
getting away with
was.
a lot of stuff, but he meant that. I knew them pills was gonna come up missing.
Exactly. But
So
I get the
yeah,
smoking, Carla, because I mean, the next journey, of course, was me smoking, but I only did it when the girls would leave town, right? So my summer thing was, okay, I'm a smoke. And so the smoking went with drinking. Because I would bum
yeah,
cigarettes from you. And so it's like, all right, the girls are gone in the summer, so I get to smoke. So last summer, since I stopped smoking, stopped drinking, was the hardest summer for me to kick the smoking. So it even weighed in when they came back. And I was like, oh, or was it last summer? The summer before, whenever I stopped drinking. And I was like, why is it taking me so long to stop smoking? And I was like, I guess because I didn't have another vice to segue into. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just like crazy. But I couldn't stand it because I never not like smoking at
you
all
never
because it
liked
just
smoking. You was
stinks.
okay when we were
It's like,
rolling together,
yeah,
and you
right.
let me smoke. You'd be like, okay, you would be there with me, but it
Mhm.
was not something that you partook
No,
in smoking. And so when you started smoking, I was like, what
what are
is
you doing?
you know? And then I got on your case about smoking, and you try to talk on me on the phone and make me think you wasn't smoking. I know what a smoker sound like.
Right.
I
I'm trying
know
to
when you
hide it.
inhaling a
It's
cigarette.
outside because I don't want to do it inside because I can't stand the smell of it. Don't want my
Right?
house to smell like it. Done prettified my little patio so I can stand there. I was like, forget it. So eventually I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. And Liz, just sit your butt down somewhere and chill out. So it has been a journey. Let me tell you. So I was like, all right, I got everything. But all that had to take place before I had my surgery. And yeah, it's been over a year since I've had my surgery. So all that had to be done and gone with. Because I was like, when they told me your kidneys are beautiful and everything is fine and that all your bodies and organs and parts are nice, I'm like, it's going to stay like that. Because I'm not going to have nothing wrong with me. And
I'm
thank God.
proud of you for kicking that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
for kicking that. And not only that, you've settled
Mm-hmm.
really well with not really picking up anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes we always end up picking up, something
Right.
else along the way, but it's a journey. It absolutely
Yes.
is a journey when we change anything in our life.
Isn't it?
I
Isn't it?
appreciate you sharing your
Thank
journey that you
you.
and
It's been a journey.
that's a hard one. That's
Mm-hmm.
this was a good conversation. It's a
Thank
good
you.
conversation. So I hope if not anyone in the chat, maybe you have a family member. I know that I do. That
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to sometimes have that conversation, but
Mm-hmm.
just keep staying strong and
Yeah.
uh, stick by them as best that you can.
Yes.
A lot of times, sometimes we have to change what we're doing.
Thank
Meaning,
you.
yes, thank you, Wellness with Frugal Mama. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
at family functions and stuff like that, maybe there's just no drinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So we all have to make choices of what we're going to do to support not only ourselves, but other friends and family as well.
And it's okay to show hard love, but sometimes you want to get to that underbelly of you know, what's going on with them. Not to play psychologist, but what's really going on. You know, you might want to talk to somebody professional, because people deal with grief in so many different ways. You know, a loss is a loss of the loss. Today and age, it could be a puppy, it could be, you know, a pet, it could be a parent, it could be, you know, your marriage, your relationship. It could be so many different things, and people just interpret it and internalize it so many different ways because we are taught to be, you got to keep going, and you know, just keep going and keep going, and it's like, you know, it can't keep going. At some point I got to offload it, you know, I got to get it together. So hey, just live life and enjoy the journey.
Absolutely.
Really. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Welcome in, Frugal Mama. I saw that you've been here, and Liz B. Journey. Thank you both for joining us this evening. What
Yes.
a great conversation with Liz this Thursday. Thank you guys so very much for
Thank
joining
you.
us and talking about something that's kind of personal. It can be very
Mm-hmm.
sensitive to people, but you know what? I feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, you can tell when a person has made it to the mountaintop of a challenge that they've had because we openly speak on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you can openly kind of talk about some things that you've been through or whatever and put it out there, you know, in the universe or whatever, you're moving forward. You're
Oh, thank you.
moving forward. I'm so proud of you. I'm absolutely proud of
Thank you.
you for all that you've done. Welcome in, Deborah. How are you? I'm so
You
happy.
know me. I'm an open book. I don't hide nothing. It don't make any difference. You know, I feel like the elders have hidden enough. You know, I'm an open book. I feel like everybody, you know, we only learn through what people share with us. And I want my journey to be 100% transparent, even if I'm going through it. It's okay. Pull the covers back and you can see all the ugly babies. Just know that, hey, I'm still living.
That way. You are absolutely that way.
It's not over. I'm still living. Don't judge this chapter. Just let's get to the next one.
Absolutely. Good way to say it. I like that. I like
Thank
that.
you.
So I like that so much.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
we're gonna get ready to get out of here.
Mhm.
Thank you guys all. And for those of you that are watching the replay, thank you guys so very much. And for those of you that just came in, just to recap, we talked about the loss of Tina Turner, and
Mhm.
what a very, very special person and artist at that. Um, she lived a really good life, I do believe, and a long life, 83. So, and I know she had been sick for a while, but
Yeah.
our thoughts and our prayers are with her family, and for her to rest in peace. And also Jim Brown, who was a football
Mhm.
player, a book writer, uh, in the movies as well. So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
our thoughts and our prayers go out to his family, and to my brother-in-law who passed last week. My thoughts and
Mhm.
prayers go out to his family, his wife, which my sister is his ex-wife, but we were all still family. And so he will be missed, but not forgotten, most certainly.
Right.
And don't forget, you guys, today is National Missing Children's Day. So we want to make sure we stay
Mhm.
aware of our children and when they're out and about. And even if we have a fenced backyard,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
they're outside playing or whatever, we still have to be aware of where our
Mhm.
children are, and keep our eyes on them, and in the grocery store and the shopping malls or whatever.
Yes.
Statistics was showing, and I think that statistic I had picked up was like in 2017, but
Mm.
per day, 2,300 children go missing a day.
Right. Right.
That's way too many. And as someone
It
said earlier,
is
just one child is way too many.
way too many.
Yeah. So
Crazy. It's crazy.
I remember when my son was young, we was at the mall and he had crawled under the garments, you know, how they have the
Mhm.
nesting thing.
Yeah.
And that was back when children were getting missing, whatever, something was happening in Atlanta. Somebody was taking children. Girl, you know, I went ballistic up in that store.
Really?
But oh, girl, yeah, because I kept calling his name and he wouldn't. He was not responding to me. And so then people back then that worked in the store or whatever, everybody keyed in right away or whatever.
Mhm.
And girl, he might almost made me go there in public or whatever. They would have had
Really?
CPS come taking him. When I found out he was right up under that, I snatched him up. Boy,
Wow.
please. But yeah, please watch out for your children and everything. So, and
Mhm.
be aware that, yeah, May the 25th is National Missing Children's Day. So there are a lot of
Mhm.
organizations and people out there that work on behalf of looking for children that go missing. So,
Oh,
thank you,
okay.
Deborah, thank you so very much. I appreciate your comment. Thank you for your kindness. So, do you have any final words you want to say before we get up out of here?
My final thoughts are to live life as free and wonderful as you can ever imagine because you only have one. So enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. And as I say in each and every one of my videos or lives, time is our most precious commodity. So make sure each and every one of you value your time, spend your time wisely with yourself, your family, and those that are closest to you. And until the next video, which I'll be live again tomorrow with Sipping with Sheer Magic, and we're going to talk about how we were raised as children, how our parents raised us. So we'll be on tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Yaya
Mhm.
finally got it figured out. So we'll be streaming on both channels. We'll be streaming on Yaya's Best Life,
Cool.
and we will also be streaming on Sipping with Sheer Magic's channel at the same time. So look forward to seeing each and every one of you. Hey, Tam Tam, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you stopping in. Yes, Nikki, absolutely. That
Cool.
one child is a lot, is way too
Yeah.
many. Yeah, that's a lot of children to
Mhm.
missing. So I was glad that I caught that on the news this morning, what today was. And so just to bring awareness to that fact. So
That is crazy.
until tomorrow, each and every one of you guys have a wonderful evening. And it's Yaya's time. And we'll see you
Mhm.
guys back tomorrow. Bye,
Okay.
Liz. Thanks,
Bye
Liz.
bye. You're welcome. Bye, everyone. I don't know.